This is Sunny Fonseca with Mortgages with Sunny. Welcome to my new podcast. On this podcast, we'll be discussing a little bit about everyday scenarios that do occur during a loan process, connecting with realtors to expand their business, and also giving you some scenarios and tips on purchasing a home. I think having a strong realtor and a mortgage broker connection is super important. It goes back into communicating and making the process smoother for our clients. You know, as we've come across situations where we have first-time home buyers, there's so much that goes on behind the scenes of lending that there's so many guidelines. And I think what you make it easier for me is trusting me, you know, and it brings that to the client, conveys to the client, right? Well, I trust Sunny, and the client that from then on there trust me. Nothing in mortgage is 1, 2, 3, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, right? So, and plus allowing me to address that to you, which I appreciate it, it makes it, you make it approachable for me to say, hey, Mike, we got to take care of this. So I think having that connection that we do have and that respect is super important with boundaries. I appreciate that because I've worked with several realtors where it's just like calling me nonstop or calling me. If you're calling me, I can't get the deal done. You know what I mean? Like, let me focus on that. So I respect you for that and I appreciate you. And that's just one big reason why we're successful in what we're building and where homeowners have become successful becoming homeowners because we have that connection, that smooth trust and process, and most importantly, ethics and morals, you know, so much respect to you on that. So thank you.
Yeah, so I think in real estate it's interesting. I always crack the joke when you go under contract, realtor to realtor. I call it an arranged marriage,
Yeah.
right? Like you're
Yeah.
you're kind of married to this person during the course of the transaction. When I'm talking about my lender or whoever I'm working with on the finance side, it's more than an arranged marriage, right? Because it's very important for me as a real estate professional. We're the ones that go out into the streets. We're the ones with the client. We're client facing. We have the first opportunity to build that relationship with the client and kind of learn their story. What is it that they're looking for? Why are they? More important is the why, right? Like, why are they looking for this home? Is it a brand new family that just had children or is expecting to
Yeah.
start having additional children and need more space? Is it an investor that their main priority and focus is how much money that they're making on this particular transaction? All that really, really matters. And the ability to share that with the person who's handling the finances so that they can cater to those specific needs is really, really important during the course of a transaction. I
Definitely.
think one of the things that separates me and you is we have very similar work ethics.
Yeah.
There will be no offense taken if you call me or I call you after 9 p.m. on a Thursday or,
Mhm.
very early in the morning, we're sending text messages or whatnot. This helps me sometimes because situations happen during a
Yeah.
transaction, whether it's after an inspection, we learn of something that we didn't know originally. Maybe title finds out that there's a lien on the property. During your work, you find out that there's something in the finances that maybe the client didn't even know was important to
Yeah.
tell us. And all that's important because as I'm negotiating, because that's the thing, right? When you go under contract, you're not done negotiating, right?
Mm-mm.
There's always opportunities. There are things during the course of the transaction that come up and we have an opportunity to do better for our client. Sometimes if we're looking for a credit, I can call Sunny and say, hey, is there a cap on how much money I can ask for the client right now?
Mm-hmm.
And she's very quick to respond, which allows me to be very, very efficient
Yeah.
in my negotiation. So I think that's part of the work that we do that really, really helps us set ourselves apart and set our clients up for success.
And also too, I think like it's important that we can convey any of those questions or whatever the case is and have that trust. And there's going to be so much that you're going to probably know before I do and vice versa, So communication is so important. And again, like you said, no offense taken, right? It's like, hey, yo, Sonny, I got to deal with this. Or yo, Mike, I got to take care of this. So we just connect, brainstorm, and so much that look at how much we've accomplished by doing that,
Yeah.
So definitely, I appreciate that. That's good. Yeah. What is one obstacle that you said that we've overcome together as a team on a client that we've been working with together?
I feel like every
I
transaction
know.
has obstacles,
There's
right? But
always something.
the one that comes to mind right now is the one we're actively working right now. We have some clients slash friends that are buying their first
Yeah.
home together, and unfortunately, one of the people that is on the contract is has fallen ill, and we immediately needed to figure out plans A, B, and C. Right? In a perfect world, everybody's going to the signing table,
Yeah.
and it's nice and smooth, and we're good to go. But our job, as always, is to always protect our
Yeah.
clients, right? So in this case, it's me sending an email to title, hey, we have this situation. We're thinking this. What are our options? And luckily, we've done a pretty good job. We have a really good relationship with our title
Yeah.
company. And immediately they're calling us back. We're brainstorming. We're getting some ideas. And so in this particular case, we're going to go ahead and do a power of attorney.
Hmm.
We've already got that set up, and we have two different ways where we can do it. We got a mobile notary set up if
Yeah.
we need it. They can go in person. We don't even know if we need the power of attorney, but this is going to ensure that our clients have a nice, smooth experience all the way to the end, especially given the family circumstances. They don't need any additional
Yeah,
steps.
absolutely. Yeah, it's always more like, well, okay, well, I don't have this. Don't worry about it. What got you?
Yeah.
So definitely, yeah. And then there's also so many times where we've had to renegotiate based on like the value of the home or credits that we've
Bad
able to obtain.
appraisals,
Yeah,
right? These
yeah.
things happen.
Sorry.
And sometimes they work out in our client's benefit.
Yeah, and it still works out. It
Absolutely.
still works out. So when it comes to like, there's so much that happens in lending. Like I had a client ask me, well, am I gonna know if I'm denied or approved? I'm like, there's no such thing as getting denied. It's okay. What are we gonna do
Yeah.
to overcome that obstacle, right? It's just going back. Let's look at the guidelines. It's okay. Well, we don't have this. Let's get this. So there's never a denial in our book, right? It's like
Correct.
let's get over this.
Correct.
So
Figure it out one
definitely.
way or another.
Yeah, definitely. Why is it important for realtors to always work with a trusted mortgage broker?
Outside of my wife,
And
like
speak,
that's like
but like, and I'm sure you've worked with so many lenders. Like,
yeah.
what is one thing that you can say after from your experience that you can recommend that is with a trusted broker? Like, why is it important?
The thing with the relationship between the real estate professional and the lender is like it's kind of like team sports. If you don't do your job, I cannot be successful. If I don't do my job, you cannot
Yeah.
be successful. So finding someone that as these obstacles come up during a transaction that you can trust and you can go to and work together, like actually collaborate to figure out what's the best path forward. Unfortunately, in this business, I've been through quite a few lenders.
Yeah.
The reason that I love working with you specifically, and she's taken, all right. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. She's open for business, guys. But no, she
Working business.
yeah,
If you want
she-
anything else, just DM me.
Oh, Lord. All right, this is going off the rails real fast. So one of the reasons that I genuinely enjoy working with you is because we do have that rapport. Our work ethic matches.
Yeah.
And you actually care about the client. Like it's not just numbers. It's not just let's get this closed. It's not just stick them in whatever property. I refuse to work with people that work that way. I was in education for a long, long time.
Yeah.
And decided to pivot and get into real estate.
That was a bold move.
Well, I've always wanted to have some kind of an impact, right? And so the good thing about real estate, I genuinely feel like every single transaction I am helping somebody.
Yeah.
And I genuinely believe that that's
True.
why you're in the business. And so when we have to work later or I have to ask you to do something after it's already been done 6 times and you have to do it a 7th time, but we know it's in the best interest of the client, you never complain.
Same here. And I really respect your morals, and it goes back to morals and ethics. I think the best feeling is when we have clients that say, well, Sunny and Mike, I never thought I'd be a homeowner, And just that feeling itself. Like we were having a conversation on one client that we had, and you were like, Sunny, it's okay. I know it's okay. It'll work out. It'll pay us back, And I was just like, okay, we're on the same page, and I really appreciate that. Like you said, it's not a number. These are clients who become friends or other clients or referral partners, and they become our friends, most importantly.
100%.
So I think that's
There are
really
real, there are
important.
real relationships built in the process.
Absolutely.
And if there aren't, then something's wrong.
Right,
Like this
right,
is
right,
too
right.
personal of a situation
Yeah.
for relationships not to be built.
Yeah.
It's important to keep it professional, but ultimately, like I'm ready to go to war for my
Yeah.
people. Like whatever it takes to make sure that they have the best result, that's what I'm willing to do. And
I
I know you're
know.
the same way. We both
Yeah.
have taken cuts to commission
Yeah.
to make sure that our client gets what they need. So like
Absolutely.
we'll do whatever it takes, and it's nice to have a partner that feels the same way.
And where are we going? We're doing nothing but growing from here. You know what I mean? And we're helping others become homeowners. How has working with a mortgage broker such as myself benefited you to make the process easier and smoother and excel as a realtor and a broker?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing, honestly, is like I know I have my role,
Yeah.
and I actually trust you to do your role,
Thank
right?
you.
So like,
So important.
yeah, like I can focus on the things that I can control and I
Yeah.
can manipulate during the course of a transaction, and I know that the finances are handled,
Yeah.
right? So I don't have to worry if, I'm in the middle of a negotiation and they want us to come up $15,000, and I'm like, I think I can get them to bite at five. I already know that you've told me, Mike, they can go up five, and I trust that they genuinely can. So when I negotiate, I can negotiate with that confidence that you're going to handle the finances. So much so you're helping me buy a house,
Yeah.
right? So like, there's no
Thank
more
God.
trust than that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's really the biggest thing for me with working with you is like
Yeah.
I know that part of the transaction is handled, which allows me to focus on the other things to make sure that the client feels like their best interest is always, always, always our focus.